Kaushik, we are live.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome all of you to my channel, Youth O Vision. And it's a special day. I have my very old friend Kaushik Kaur with me today on this youth platform where we answer queries, where we discuss issues about youth. Hi, Kaushik.
Hello.
But today, he is not here as a friend. Today, he is here as a financial expert, as a wealth management coach, and he will talk about his journey when he introduces himself. I think that's better. Uh, but before we start, please subscribe to this channel to know more about such content we bring for youth and for parents and for teenagers and adolescents. So let's get going, Kaushik. The floor is yours. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Madhu, for inviting me on this platform. It's a great honor. And also, I am privileged because I think through this platform, it gives me an opportunity to convey my whole motto of starting my wealth creation journey or this educational platform called wealthcraft99.com, which I have started now. And now I don't want to sound like an expert because I think that doesn't matter at all to anybody, actually, because I believe that you become an expert or whatever you become in the process, right? An entrepreneur doesn't become an entrepreneur just by reading some books and things like that. He becomes an entrepreneur by practicing things which he, you know, go through in the process. Same way, an investor also, he becomes an investor. He doesn't read through and become an investor. So it's a journey for everybody. And as and whatever I am saying here on this platform is not just I am saying it myself. It is backed up by a lot of research and lot of statistics, not for few years but decades and decades of statistics is behind this, whatever we are talking out here. And if you read the life or biographies of some of the greatest investors, you will understand that all of them, they did some very fundamental things. These were not complicated things, but they made it a habit. The biggest thing is implementation of those fundamental skills. I believe I have been through this investment journey for last 20 years, and I should also say that I made lot of mistake trying to be very smart in this whole process. Learned, had many coachings, had many coaches, and put lot of my money. But I am here today to tell you is that investment need not this investment journey need not be complicated at all, because it is
Mhm.
a human psychology that whatever is complicated, you may start
Mhm.
it, but if it is very complicated, you will give it up at some point of time.
Mhm.
Okay. And d- believe me, in my 20 years, I am now in the process of making the things simpler. And this is what my foundation is trying to do for the people, that to keep it a very simple process, like Robert Kiyosaki said that investment process is a very boring journey, okay, where you start implement something and keep following this for years and years, and one fine morning you wake up being a millionaire. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So,
but instead of that, as we see that Wall Street, if you go through any journal or you go through TV, and all these big guys are speaking so many big things, complicated things, and all those things, they all come for a day, for a week, for a month, and things like that, and it just vanishes. Okay. So So this is what
Hmm.
my journey, as well as what I'm trying to convey to all of you.
Thank you, Kaushik. Because why I brought you to the platform is because I know that you come from a background where you have experienced everything yourself. And when you said the word that millionaire, every youth, everybody wants to be a quick millionaire. There is no quick fix rule, and people are always in a hurry. So, as you said, it's a boring journey. It's a journey which will take a long path, but you need to have a certain tools, right? Am I right to know those things? So my question to youth, when I was planning to do this interview with you, I had sent a uh, Google form to about 50 youth who reciprocated and who answered that what they want to know about what is missing in their life in terms of learning know about finance, money, etc. So I will today, in this short time, put some few questions which are very up on their mind of the youth. They want to know more about this. So let's start because we have a short time, and
Sure.
let's get as much as possible within this given time. And I know that all those who are listening will have more queries. We can do another in-depth uh, question, topic wise discussion later. So here it goes. The first question, which it's very funny, they said is that how am I ever going to learn about saving, about loan, about debt? Once I get married, once we have children, youth are always confused about this and say, how am I going to know this when this subject is not even taught in school and I'm learning something like geometry? I don't know where I'm going to use it. So, my first question to you, Kaushik, is how important is it for the young people to start the journey early?
Right. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that there is no subject, or there is no course designed for a personal finance. But at the same
Hmm.
time, I think that, that how can anybody put up a course? Okay. Like,
Okay.
as I said, we cannot put up a course for entrepreneurship, right? You become a entrepreneur. So, to give you an example, what I mean is that when I say that you want to become an entrepreneur, is that when you have a very bad quarter, your performance of the company is very bad, or just imagine the banks are knocking your door because they want to recover their money from you, okay, and you have a very bad financial time in your business, right? So in that juncture, okay, how do you think through that to find the solution to come out of that
Okay.
situation, right? How you are
Okay.
going to deal with that very next day when you have to pay the salaries for hundreds or thousands of people, okay, in that situation, or on
Uh-huh.
that day how you are behaving with your co-workers, or on
Mm-hmm.
that day how you are behaving with your family, with your kids, okay, how you are
Mm-hmm.
managing the emotions within you, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
all those things are ultimately contributing and helping you to find a solution. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can keep your nerves cool, okay, if you can hold on to the situation, okay, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't give up, so lot of those things are contributing towards towards your
Correct.
success, right? So that
Yes.
is the process. In that process you are becoming an entrepreneur. So how
Yes.
can you write it in that,
No
in a right?
book.
So it is that how you are behaving on that particular situation, on that day, or on that situation, that makes you a good entrepreneur, right?
Good.
So this
Correct.
is this is all a practice and implementation. Same way, investment is also nothing hi-fi about it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
as Warren Buffett said, even a eighth grade student can be a great investor. Okay, so
Great.
the whole thing is about the discipline, the habit, and the implementation. And what do you become in that process? Okay,
True.
so same way, so in Wealthcraft 99, we have just divided into three very basic segments called your profile, your portfolio, and third is the implementation. As simple as that. and this
Correct.
can be started by everybody. So now you are we are addressing the youth. Okay, so all of them can start it, okay, in a very minimal simplistic manner, and I can tell you, promise you, that if they do it as a disciplined manner, by the age of 40 to 45, they can have a great
Great,
passive
very
income
great.
which can replace
Mhm.
their active income, and they can be in a great financial situation.
And you know that anxiety, if they plan ahead, doesn't stay, right? You're not always anxious to pay your bills or look at the finance or a child's college, or everything is taken care of if you start early. So let's get going. First, very simple definitions I would expect, because this is a platform for everybody. First question I want to know from you is, what is budgeting, and how a youth can help, or their contribution in the budgeting of the house.
Right. So here, when we are talking about budgeting, we are talking about our personal budgeting, our household
Yes.
budgeting. So
Yes, we'll start with
everybody
that.
will,
Yeah.
right. So everybody will have their own expenses, right? So they should definitely enlist all those expenses which they are incurring.
Okay.
In fact, recently I have helped many people to come up with a financial freedom figure. So, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by financial freedom figure is that if you have this sum of money today, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of your life, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have the financial freedom, because if you can invest this sum of money today, okay, it will take care of all your expenses for the
Mm-hmm.
till your end. So this is what is called the financial freedom figure. Okay, so same way, when a youth is starting, so he can see that what is his expenses as on date. Okay,
In the
and
family,
then what
yes.
are milestone expenses, like when he goes further, he may be getting married, he will be buying house certain day, he will be buying a car at some given point of time, etc., etc. So he should be able to put all these things in a piece of a paper, and should be able to calculate all those figures and what kind of money is required to. So he should be
Correct.
have a clear picture that, okay, this
Mm-hmm.
is the required sum for my household. Okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
can start the financial planning from the day one. Okay, so once
Mm-hmm.
we start that and put the post process into picture, into implementation, one fine day he will see that his investment has done so well that he is no longer dependent on the active income, but his passive investments is giving out enough money to support
All right.
his livelihood.
Okay. So here I want to also bring from my experience as a parent, that when we should not be very, it should not, our finances should be, our financial condition, status, everything should be very clear to our children. They need to know where our money is coming from, how much is the earning, how much we can spend. As a child, as a youth, we might think of buying certain things, or say our parents have this, so if I ask, they will give it. But it's going to just play with the budget of the year. They have to plan, they have to do things. So for youth to know that yes, I can only do this and not what the XYZ other person is doing, is also very important, right? Like you have to be within your family's budget and know that this is the limit and not more.
Yeah, so this process which I described just now is going to keep a real clear picture in front of you. Okay,
Mhm,
because if you
mhm.
don't do this exercise, you don't
Yes,
know where you are heading to. Okay.
correct.
See what happens generally. Again, I'm just repeating this, that what you become in the process is that, look, generally how a youth, he steps out from the college. Okay, he gets a nice job. Okay, so when he gets into the job, he has got lot of things in his mind, right? He will want to buy this, he want to, because he has got his money for the first time, right? So he goes out and splash his money and things like that. Okay, So slowly what happens is that that becomes a habit. The spending becomes a habit. Okay.
Okay.
So at
Mm-hmm.
one point of time, you don't know how much you can stop yourself or how much you are controlling yourself. And that habit keeps growing and growing. So it has been seen that for everybody, okay, they get promotion, their income goes up, they are earning more and more money. But at the same time, their expenses also keeps going up.
Great.
Okay. So what happens is that ultimately what is that pot you are filling with, that investment pot you are filling with, is the most important thing. So as you may have also seen, I have also seen that lot of people had a fantastic job, but for some unfortunate reason, when he loses his job, all of a sudden there is a huge problem in his life, because there is not enough in that investment pot which can take care of his livelihood. Whereas
Yeah.
since he was earning a lot of money, he could have easily been a good disciplined investor, and he would have come out of this whole financial problems because his
Correct.
investments would have taken care of him.
So here, when you were saying, and that was my next question, I think you already touched upon it, is cash versus credit card versus debit card. What is the basic difference, and how youth should, or young person in who in college and maybe in schools also even, try to handle these things? Do they need a credit card? Do they need a debit card or cash? Or how does that work? Just address it in the point of view of a young child who is not yet earning. So, how do they spend?
Yeah, so you have to be very smart. Again, it is all about the discipline. Like 20 last say 30 years, I have used a credit card, but I can proudly say that I never paid any penalty or interest, late
Yes,
late interest on my credit card. At the
that's
same
great.
time, how I have used it to my advantage is that, there are a lot of points you can earn on credit card,
Mm.
lot of offers are there on credit card. So I have been able to get all those benefits. At the same time, I have never gave any penalty to the bank. I have not paid, I have not missed my payments and things like that. So it all
So that's
depends
a
on, brings you to that discipline, that
yes,
how you are
yes.
using this tool called credit card.
So if they're not able to control their spending, should they then go for debit card? Is that the better way to say if they're faltering? So maybe how does that work? I'm a little confused about it. Like how does debit card and credit card, if you're a very big spendthrift and you are spending a lot, so do you think that shifting to debit card is better than credit card because you know that you have to pay in future and you keep spending?
Yeah, so debit card can be at least one step better than credit card, because it is not giving you the credit, but you are
Yes,
spending from the money
yes.
which you are there
Which you
there.
have. Yes, correct.
Anyway, it is not helpful to you, because again that money what you have there, if you just spend it off, okay, so no matter how much money you are earning, you are again a slave to the money, right?
Yes.
So the
Okay.
whole journey is from you working from money to
Uh-huh.
money start working for you,
Correct. Okay.
right?
Yes. So Kaushik, my next question, we have short time, is about inflation. How do people handle inflation and what planning they should do? Even when we are talking about youth, what does inflation mean to them and what they should be knowing about this?
Yeah, it's a very important subject, and as you know that today, if you are hearing the news, is that the world is going through a high inflationary phase. U.S. inflation, U.K. inflation,
UK
everything
inflation.
is at the peak of last 40, 50 years. Okay, so basically, what inflation is that does is that the cost of living and cost of every commodities which we are using, it goes up drastically. So it eats away the value of your money or the purchasing power of your money. So
Hmm.
today, or say 5 years back, if 100 rupees could have bought this much of material or whatever food stuff or everything. So today, if you go with that 100 rupees, you may be able to get only 20% of that goods which you
What
have
we're
bought
getting.
5 years back, right?
Hmm.
So the purchasing power of your money or the currency is going down drastically. And when you are planning for your investment, it is
Yes.
extremely important to consider the inflationary factor in this calculation. Because
Hmm.
today, if 1 lakh is a good amount for you, 10 years down the line, 1 lakh will be nothing. Okay, because
Hmm.
the inflation will eat away the value of this 1 lakh rupees. Okay,
Hmm.
so you won't be able to buy as much goods as you can buy today with this 1 lakh of rupees. So it is
Hmm.
important to take into consideration the inflationary factors in your financial calculation.
Yeah, and that's where wealth planners like you come in, where you can plan ahead because people may not see it that far, that inflation का क्या effect होता है, right? एक
Right.
और चीज कौशिक मैं आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ कि ये जो स्पेंडिंग वर्सेस सेविंग वर्सेस गिविंग इसका कुछ रेशियो होता है क्या कितना गिव करना चाहिए या हम किसी को गिफ्ट देते हैं या करते हैं या फिर सेविंग एंड स्पेंडिंग कोई रेशियो होता है इसका कुछ स्वीट स्पॉट होता है या हाउ डू वी गो अबाउट इट
Right. So to keep it very simple, and as we are addressing the youth today, my
यस
humble request to all the youth is that when you get into your first job, okay, start keeping aside 10% of your money as saving. Okay,
ओके
just tell yourself that no matter what, you are not going to touch that 10%. Okay,
वाह
and consider that as if it is not existing.
हम्म
So once you start saving or keeping that 10% aside, okay, and just over a period of time, that will come up to be a good sum. And then you step into investing. So from
ओके
that saving, you go to investing and then you implement all the investment strategies or whatever it is required as per your portfolio or profile. Okay. And that is the path. So the
एंड यू
number
नो
one step for you, for everyone, is that to
यस
start keeping aside 10% of the funds aside.
also a very small thing because I'm addressing youth and it's very close to my heart is that you need not wait for 40 or 50 years to do some great for the community, right? You need to give back. So a small amount of money you can also keep aside for doing those kind of charitable work which you might think अच्छा मैं इतना earn कर लूंगा तो मैं उतना दूंगा वो कभी होता नहीं है so you need to keep that in mind am I right
So, as the laws of nature says that why nature should give you a certain sum of money or certain money, okay,
yes
if you don't know what to do with that, right? Suppose I
okay
am dreaming to get 1 million, okay, why should nature give 1 million to me when I have
perfect
no plan to do what to do with this 1 million? Okay, and
exactly
giving is equally a most important thing as getting it. Okay, so giving and getting and giving has to go hand in hand. So when you are planning to get something, you also have to plan to give it. Okay,
perfect
so again, now there is no sum of money basically, which I may say that you should give up 10% of
Hmm.
whatever you are earning for the charities. But some people may have a bigger plan, bigger ideas for these things, so
Yeah,
they can
that's
give
okay.
it more. Okay,
Do what?
so again, like as I said, basically you start keeping 10% aside. Same way, you should start giving 10% also for
Yes.
all good causes.
I'm so happy to see this one is something which everybody should take care that plan ahead, plan with an expert, go to somebody who knows their job and ask them for help. Don't go in dark and then suddenly say that, oh, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Am I right? So they need to plan and then everything will fall in place especially your medical needs and all as you were saying people are not youth do not even think of course today's youth is smarter than I think the previous generation where insurance is something which we will end with we have 6 minutes and we'll talk about how important it is to start in taking insurance right from the beginning of your life when you start your earning journey
Exactly. So I mean, failing to plan is planning to fail. Okay, about everything, about everything. So if you don't plan, things will happen very haphazard in the life for everything again. Okay, so
Okay.
it has to be planned. Insurance has to be planned. Like as we said, when pandemic came, I mean, it just disturbed the financial situation of many of the people. Okay, whereas if people would have implemented and kept a bare minimum health insurance and all those kind of things, they wouldn't be stressed out. And
Absolutely.
the thing is this: when you are physically unfit or you are sick, I mean, on the top of that, having a financial situation is I mean, it is killer, right? So at least
Mm,
at that time, you should not be worried about the financial things. So if you have a
mm,
health insurance, you will be much relaxed. You know.
correct. So I think we have touched most of the pain points or five top pain points, which I think the youth wanted to know. There are so many. I have almost 20 more questions to ask you, but time is something which we don't have. Thank you for coming on the channel and giving this beautiful ideas. I know you have something to end it. So I'm waiting for that end, which you are going to show to the audience and the youth. Go ahead, show what you
So
have.
I would like to introduce a very beautiful book, okay, which is the richest man in Babylon. I think many people have thought
Yes, it's a
heard about it.
wonderful book. Yes.
It's written a century back, okay, and it has been republished many times, okay. So every youth, I will ask them to read this book. It's a very simple book, very easy to read, okay, and very simple fundamental things are being discussed about growing your financial situation or to your path or to become a wealthy person. And those were good enough 100 years back, and they are equally good enough today, you know. So
This book,
uh,
yes.
I, I will recommend everybody to read this book. That how that one gentleman who was the richest man of Babylon, okay,
Yes.
who was a very ordinary person, but just by implementation of very fundamental methodologies, how he became the richest man of Babylon. So, guys, just
Go for
read.
it.
Yes,
Yes.
go for it. It's a
And
beautiful.
because Kaushik suggested, I did read the book. I had no interest in finance earlier, but and now I know I can safely say that I'm there. I'm much more well versed thanks to Kaushik, talking to him always about the topic, also about the book. It's an amazing book for everybody to read. Parents, please buy it for your son or daughter's birthday, who will be coming, or just gift it like that. So we'll wind up now, and it was great having you, Kaushik, on the show. And I think we had covered a lot of points. So those who are watching,
Thank you, Madhu, for bringing me here, and I could hope we could together address some of the queries. I know it's the
yes,
time is short, and we will
yes,
love people to come back to us. We are here to help. We have a mission to help the people. We are
yes,
not here to give any gyan or that sweet pill to make you millionaire or billionaire. Okay, it's all
absolutely,
about doing the basics right. Okay,
absolutely.
that's the whole motto of our journey. So good
Thank you
luck to you.
once again. Thank you once again. Youth Vision again. Please subscribe to the channel and keep coming back. And we'll be getting more youth to ask questions to experts. So next we are having all youth coming up, and they will ask questions and they will discuss their issues, what they face. So keep watching the channel, and bye bye for now. Thank you, Kaushik, once again.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.